Rhea Ripley and Drew McIntyre as a power couple. WWE Star sends nasty message to Rey Mysterio following surgery. WWE fires Nick Aldis amid controversy. Fans in disbelief over Triple H's hatred for AEW. Jerry Lawler recalls the greatest thing he's ever done in WWE. Infuriated Star demands WWE take down backstage footage. Solo Sikoa turn on Roman Reigns and end his WWE Universal Championship reign. Let's jump right into it. WWE Star sends nasty message to Rey Mysterio following surgery. A WWE superstar has delivered a nasty message to Rey Mysterio following last Friday's edition of SmackDown. The Latino World Order appears to be falling apart on the blue brand. At WWE Crown Jewel 2023, Rey Mysterio defended the United States Championship against Logan Paul. Elvio Santos Escobar made his way to the ringside area to help the Hall of Famer, but he accidentally left a pair of brass knuckles on the ring apron. Logan Paul used the brass knuckles and punched Mysterio in the face to become the new champion. On this past Friday's episode of SmackDown, Santos Escobar unleashed a brutal attack on the Hall of Famer and slammed his knee into the steel steps outside the ring. Earlier today, Mysterio took to social media to reveal that he underwent successful knee surgery. The veteran added that he is now on the road to recovery and will be out for revenge on Escobar. Santos Escobar responded on Instagram and warned the legend never to return. "Don't come back," he wrote. Former WWE manager Dutch Mantell recently praised Logan Paul for saving Rey Mysterio during a botched spot at Crown Jewel. Speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's Smack Talk show, Dutch Mantell praised Logan Paul for his work at Crown Jewel. Mantell noted that Mysterio was short with a spot during the match, but Paul was able to save him. Ready to dive from the outside into the ring, and he was short with it, and Logan Paul dipped under him and caught him. I don't think he would have gotten hurt, but he could have. But he actually saved him an injury. At least that's what it looked like to me. That's what you were supposed to do as an opponent, the former WWE manager said on Smack Talk. Santos Escobar once viewed Rey Mysterio as his mentor, but that is clearly no longer the case. It will be fascinating to see when Mysterio returns to SmackDown to get revenge on Escobar. Did you enjoy Mysterio's reign as United States Champion? WB fires Nick Aldis amid controversy. Nick Aldis is the WWE SmackDown General Manager. He was given the role by the legendary Triple H, who also promoted Adam Pearce to Raw General Manager. In the weeks since, Nick has slowly grown into his role. The new position isn't without controversy, however. The new authority figure made a controversial decision this past Friday when he suspended Kevin Owens for putting his hands on Austin Theory and Grayson Waller while serving as a guest commentator. Many fans believe Aldis was out of line and that the punishment wasn't fair given the way A-Town Down Under was taunting the prizefighter. Triple H may feel similarly. If he does, he may bring in another star to serve as a co-general manager who can keep Aldis in check. That person is Mickie James. Mickie James returning to WWE would make a lot of sense for several reasons. She's a six-time champion in the company who has a Hall of Fame resume. Mickie is also married to Nick, so there's an obvious link between the two. Beyond those reasons, there were reports stating that the Mickie-Nick combination had been considered by management prior to Aldis being publicly announced for the role. Now that James has been removed from the Impact Wrestling roster page, he is seemingly in the clear to make the jump. While the former WWE Women's Champion would certainly do well as an authority figure, there are other exciting and intriguing spots for her in the promotion. Raw, SmackDown, and NXT have flourishing women's divisions with numerous top stars featured. Of the three divisions, it could be argued that SmackDown would need Mickie James the most. While the blue brand has the most female star power in the company, it lacks the depth of the other two shows. Beyond that, there is a ready-made position for her to slide into. The new and improved Damage Control team of Dakota Kai, Bayley, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Io Sky are looking to dominate the blue brand. Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, and Shotzi are attempting to prevent it, but they're outnumbered. Mickie could return to the blue brand and unite with Shotzi, Charlotte, and Bianca. The four could then battle Io, Asuka, Kairi, and Bayley in a women's War Games match at Survivor Series in Chicago later this month. From there, Mickie could help the depth of the Friday Night SmackDown brand. Fans in disbelief over Triple H's hatred for AEW. WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H recently took a cheeky dig at AEW by calling it a secondary promotion in Cody Rhodes' latest documentary. Meanwhile, fans have reacted to the comment on social media. Peacock recently released a high-profile documentary, American Nightmare, becoming Cody Rhodes, narrating the real-life story of the Raw superstar. Rhodes shockingly also touched upon his AEW exit in the factual film. The part of the documentary making headlines in the pro wrestling world is Triple H taking a shot at All Elite Wrestling. Here's what the game said about the Tony Khan-led promotion while discussing Rhodes' return to WWE. Taking that gamble again and saying, "I didn't grow up dreaming of being the champion or the face of a secondary promotion," referring to AEW. "I wanted to be the WWE champion." Triple H has been the creative head of WWE's main roster since July 2022. Before that, he led NXT to great heights. Under his leadership, the former black and gold brand went head-to-head with AEW's flagship program, Dynamite, on Wednesday nights for a while. WWE NXT ultimately lost the ratings war to AEW Dynamite before moving to Tuesdays. The game was asked about the development during a past interview. He responded by taking taking a dig at the Tony Khan-led company. They, AEW, beat our developmental. Good for them, said Triple H. Generation X was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2019. One of the group's members, Billy Gunn, was signed with AEW at the time. During the acceptance speech, Gunn joked that he was not worried about Vince McMahon firing him now. In response, the game jokingly said the following: "He, Vince, will buy that P company, AEW, just to fire you again." It remains to be seen whether any AEW star or Tony Khan will respond to the dig. Meanwhile, the game and Cody Rhodes are likely preparing for WWE's next big premium live event, SummerSlam. The show will take place on August 5, 2023 in Detroit, Michigan. What are your thoughts on the game's comments about All Elite Wrestling? Jerry Lawler recalls the greatest thing he's ever done in WWE. Jerry Lawler has had a legendary professional wrestling career. The King has now revealed what he thinks is the greatest thing he's done during his time with WWE. While many of today's fans know Lawler as the outspoken talking head commentator on WWE programming, the King had a legendary career inside the ring for decades before taking on a new role with the company. During the latest episode of WWE's Table for three WWE Hall of Famers, Lawler, Bret the Hitman Hart, and Kane shared stories about their time in WWE. During the meal, Lawler admitted to Hart that their rivalry in WWE was the best thing he's ever done as part of the company. "To me, the greatest thing I've been involved with here in the WWE was our rivalry," Jerry Lawler said to Bret Hart. "The Kiss My Foot match and all the things that led up to that match. I just enjoyed that so much." During Jerry Lawler's rivalry with Bret Hart, things got personal on WWE programming. The King would go out of his way to insult Hart's parents, Stu and Helen. While Lawler thought he was going too far at times, the Hitman had to inform him backstage that his parents thought it was hilarious and that he could say whatever he wanted. At the end of the day, Hart's parents were just thrilled to be involved in one of his storylines on WWE programming. What do you make of the King's comments? Do you think his rivalry with Bret the Hitman Hart was the best thing he did as an active WWE competitor? Let us know your thoughts by sounding off in the comments section below. Infuriated Star demands WWE take down backstage footage. WWE superstars Braun Breaker and Dijak were involved in a backstage confrontation during the latest episode of NXT. During Braun Breaker's backstage interview, Dijak showed up and discussed the former's chances at qualifying for the Iron Survivor Challenge, a spot Dijak had already secured. Dijak hoped for Breaker's participation, claiming Breaker couldn't break him. Breaker responded quickly as he made a clever comment regarding Dijak's past. "If I qualify for the match, stay out of my way. Because if you don't, I will have you begging for retribution, pal," Breaker said. Dijak was part of the faction known as Retribution from 2020 to 2021, using the name T-Bar alongside Menace and Mustafa Ali. Unfortunately, the faction was a significant letdown as none of the stars fulfilled their potential. However, upon Dijak's return to NXT in 2022, things took a drastic turn for the better. Since then, he has successfully established himself as one of the top stars on the show. The 36-year-old star has now taken to Twitter, insisting that WWE remove the earlier show clip from circulation. "Delete this," Dijak wrote. "It will be interesting to see if the talented star can win the Iron Survivor Challenge at deadline to get a future shot at the NXT Championship." What is your opinion on Dijak's current WWE run? Solo Sikoa to turn on Roman Reigns and end his WWE Universal Championship reign. A wrestling veteran has recently discussed the possibility of Solo Sikoa being the one to dethrone Roman Reigns, claiming the WWE Universal title. While there have been subtle hints of Solo Sikoa turning on the tribal chief, he has remained loyal to Reigns. During the Bloodline Civil War, Sikoa maintained that his loyalties lay with the leader. However, there are still substantial teases of him betraying Reigns down the line, at least in the minds of the fan. Veteran journalist Bill Apter no longer thinks Sikoa can take down the tribal chief. Speaking on this week's episode of Sportskeeda's Unscripted, Apter explained how the Samoan was brought into the fold as a monster, but had since lost his edge. In response to a question about Solo Sikoa potentially dethroning Roman Reigns, Bill Apter's answer was clear. "No, Solo to me, and I read this somewhere, people said they brought him in like the monster, and he is not the monster that they were trying to make. I don't know why I saw monster written all over this guy." With the bloodline already missing a member in the form of Jey Uso, it remains to be seen what is in store for Roman Reigns next. Roman Reigns' WWE Universal title reign could be in serious trouble if rumored move takes place, says veteran. While Roman Reigns has maintained an iron grip over his WWE Universal title so far, a veteran believes that a specific main roster move could spell trouble for him. The superstar who could be a threat to the tribal chief is Braun Breaker. While he has not yet been called up to the main roster yet, Breaker did have a match on Raw against Dolph Ziggler, which he won previously. In NXT, the 26-year-old star has already established his dominance by winning the title twice. On this week's episode of Sportskeeda's unscripted veteran journalist Bill Apter discussed Braun Breaker's potential as a legitimate opponent for Roman Reigns. He also added that he still believed Randy Orton to be the one to end the Tribal Chief's reign. He's got to get on the main roster and become one of these guys that's personable and unbeatable. He really does have to do that. I think the end of Roman Reigns' reign might come from an RKO out of nowhere. Recent reports also point to Breaker being close to a main roster call-up. It remains to be seen what is next for him in what is shaping up to be a remarkable career. Rhea Ripley and Drew McIntyre as a power couple. Rhea Ripley and Drew McIntyre's interaction during the closing moments of Raw last Monday has left a WWE Hall of Famer impressed. WWE legend Bully Ray was one of millions who watched the latest episode of Raw. The final moments of the show saw Drew McIntyre finally turn heel and attack Jey Uso with a devastating Claymore kick. The attack helped the Judgment Day pick up a win over Jey and Cody Rhodes and retain their undisputed WWE Tag Team titles. Mere seconds later, McIntyre shook hands with Rhea Ripley, which got a loud reaction from the fans in attendance. On the latest edition of Busted Open Radio, the WWE Hall of Famer Bully Ray shared his honest thoughts on the epic moment. Ray stated that McIntyre and Ripley looked like a power couple out there. I got to tell you, last night seeing Rhea standing next to Drew, I was like, whoa, that looks like a power couple if I'd ever seen them. I want to see the follow-up on Drew, because remember, my take on Drew is that it's not about his physicality, it's not about his look. Drew does everything extremely well. Drew's look to me is so amazing, he just has it all. But it's about when he talks. Let's see what he has to say next week. There aren't many on the WWE roster who are as good as Ripley when it comes to manipulating someone. The Nightmare had sensed a while back that McIntyre was considering a heel turn. She capitalized on the months of pent-up frustration that the Scottish psychopath had been displaying and finally succeeded in her quest. McIntyre is now a heel again. He is as vicious and dangerous as ever. It remains to be seen what happens next, now that the former WWE champion has finally embraced the dark side again. What was your immediate reaction to Rhea Ripley and McIntyre shaking hands during the closing moments of WWE Raw?
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me